Hello. Hey, y'all. Happy Thursday. Again, happy what am I saying? Happy Women's History Month. Um, Happy belated birthday to moi. My birthday was just Tuesday, the 8th, which is so funny that it is on International Women's Day. More like International Women's Day is on my birthday, but either who. So happy belated International Women's Day as we continue to celebrate Women's History Month. Um, all of that jazz, like just all of it. Happy, happy, happy. And I'm saying that because I am pushing through my own stuff. I'm a probably like massage this through because it's a recent discovery of mine, maybe literally like moments ago. That dang, now I daggone forgot it. I was just about to share it with y'all. Hopefully it'll come back to me. Okay, so is anybody? Oh, there it is. I feel like I'm drowning. So that I think that's prime example to show of how I feel. I feel like I'm drowning in life. I don't think it means anything more than what it could be taken. But yeah, I feel like I'm drowning. So anybody else? Am I just by myself? It's fine. Even if I am by myself, or if you are here with me, not that I would want you to be, but if you are, not really leaning on toward the side of misery loves company, but sometimes it just feels good to know that you're not by yourself, as in you're not figuring this thing called life. From last week, we said process. We're not figuring this process or working through this process on our own. I'm going to introduce my special noisemaker in a minute, but let me go all the way back and say again, happy Thursday, happy Women's History Month, happy belated birthday to me, and happy belated International Women's Day. Welcome and welcome back to another episode of the D-Mix right here, only on BigExposedRadio.com. You already know who Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time are for. Everyone, the unseen, the unheard, the overlooked, the forgotten, whether the forgotten part of you or for the person that does not belong anywhere, me be. So welcome. Here, it is all raw, authentic, and organic material because I just really, truthfully, y'all, be telling y'all about my life. That's it. And I'll be sitting here working through my stuff. And so here I am to work through my stuff. Yet again, right out loud with y'all. That's it. Ain't no other pretty way to put it. For just that, I'm looking up something because I don't know how. There we go. Let's see if it's gonna give me something. This is what I get. I should have done my homework and I did not, because why did not cross my mind to have, instead of a moment of racial injustice, I was looking for more the lines of of course, from Equal Justice Initiative. I was looking, of course, more of the lines of like one specifically for this day, and not in memory of, but in honor of Women's History Month. So I was trying to see if I could come across something. And it's, wait, y'all, wait. Oh, I thought something was giving me like a calendar. Yeah, never mind. Okay. No point of doing the homework right here in class. Like, it's just in order to turn it in and rush through it. So I may come across something though. Let's see what EJI. Let's just do it. We're right here, right? It's right here. Y'all just getting it right now. Let's see. History of racial injustice. I don't want March 3rd though. I want March 10th because it is March 10th. Let's see. Because that's what I had it on and I went away from. I should have kept that up, right? Okay. Let's just give y'all okay, well, I should have known they would have something in light of, I don't know. Y'all know it's a history of racial injustice, so it's really in lieu of. But okay, so on this day, March 10th, I always want to put it in 19. I think I did that last week. 1865, Confederate soldiers hang Black woman in Darlington, South Carolina. On March 10th, 1865, Confederate soldiers hanged Amy Spain, a young Black woman, from a sycamore tree on the courthouse lawn in Darlington, South Carolina. Accused of treason and conduct unbecoming a slave, I guess it meant of a slave, Amy was sentenced to death by a military tribunal and killed just weeks before the end of the Civil War. When Union soldiers arrived in Darlington in early 1865, many enslaved people in the area believed it marked the end of bondage. A large number of Darlington's white residents had deserted the area as Union forces approached. And the soldiers allowed the black men, and women to take whatever belongings had been left behind. Amy, who had been enslaved by Major Albertus C. Spain, reportedly took linens, sheets, pillowcases, flour, sugar, lard, and some furniture from the Spain home, where she had been enslaved and worked without pay for years. When the Union soldiers left Darlington, Confederate troops returned, and white residents who had remained in town during the occupation reported that Amy had been a ringleader of the looting. They also accused her of leading the Union forces to hidden valuables. Soon after, Amy was tried, sentenced to death, and hanged. According to newspaper reports, her punishment was acquitted and witnessed by most of the citizens of the town. Forgive me. On April 9th, 1865, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered to the Union, ending the Civil War. By the end of the year, ratification of the 13th Amendment abolished slavery, except as punishment for crime, but no one was ever held accountable for the hanging of Amy Spain. That was a mouthful and a half. So this show is dedicated to Miss Amy Spain. I'm sorry.
And not only was a mouthful, but it was also that part about conduct not befitting a slave.
Come on. Please talk to me. Like,
I like how that does it. I mean, is there a code of ethics to being a slave?
I'm sorry. Like, did we get some? What do you get when you essential skill built? Like, did we? A book. Was there a training that I missed as a slave?
A training manual.
Like, yeah. I laugh, y'all. I
rules on being a slave. Like I think in any case, if you are a slave with that word
alone
being the chosen word, wouldn't anything go?
Literally anything would go. But that is how, catch this, y'all, that is how the oppressor in any scenario, the antagonist of any scenario, justifies their BS. Like, that's how they justify.
I mean, like, so what was like
you should take this nicely.
Hierarchy of penalty.
Okay, like you should take this. Like, it's kind of like you're lucky you're my slave. Like, I'm actually not.
Because furniture and pillowcases
and flour and sugar. Essentials.
I get hanged for that. If I had took sugar, what is that? A whipping?
Oh, like, come on. And then because she was allegedly the ringleader of the looting, y'all know I paused for a second and thought about all of that. Like, okay,
right. That's it. It sounds like they were seeking capital punishment. That's why they gave her the ringleader title.
Cut it out. Like, cut it out. So Amy, so many years later, with a humble heart, we apologize. We apologize that is what happened to you, that is what you're remembered by. Like, that is just disgusting within itself. And then they have like it's not very clear, so I'm not even going to try to attempt to show y'all from, like, I'm reading from my phone. If y'all can't tell, y'all probably can see it. Because I got it all in the square. Sorry, but I'm not even going to attempt to try to show it, but it's a drawing of it. And it just shows, I mean, hanged on the courthouse lawn, like that. It's just justified. Like, yeah, we just gonna justify this thing. That's what we're doing. That's what we did. That's what we thought was best, and that's what happened. Not overtaking a life compared to sugar and pillowcases and flour, but here we are. Oh Lord, Darlington, South Carolina. Thank you for nothing. Okay, so I know y'all hear this noise. It's not a good transition, but we're gonna try to lighten things up a little bit. Oh, let's get your eye bucket before you make your debut. Could you not? Okay, thank you. Okay, so y'all know I love my fur babies. Let Let me just introduce y'all to, look at Bella. You, she's a chunky mama. Hey, chunky mama. Okay. You all right? Okay. She says hello. So I'm gonna put her business out here a little bit because I want to tell y'all about something. In honor of Women's History Month.
Get the albuterol.
She definitely give. I like. She's not diagnosed with asthma, but listen, according to me, she got asthma. Look at her panties. Look at her panties. So Bella, yes. Okay. She told me a secret. Okay. she definitely sounds like a walking grandma snoring, right? She became okay, I'm gonna put you down. She's uncomfortable. She became a lady. She became a woman just last night for literally the first time. Got her menstrual. Okay, so we're, okay, you're right. You're okay. I was just adjusting. Just pulling it up there. You okay? All the fur babies got to come to Arnene and get the honey packs. That's what I feel as though they all need. Okay. Oh, now you want to be back on camera? You should tell your mommy that you're making your debut on the B Mix. Yeah. Did you want to get down? You okay? I guess she's staying here. Okay. So that's Bella. She's a French bulldog. She's a lady. Okay. She's a chunky monkey. Okay. I'll tell you that. Chunky mama. Benji, did you want to say hello? Yes. I'm just gonna let everybody say hello. Okay. Benji, okay, you gotta let me. Okay. Trying to one-hand it here. There we are. And there's Benji. There he is. Everybody say hi to Benji. I remember Benji. Benji, look up Mole and say cheese. No? Okay. You want to smile? I love his smile, y'all. I love his smile. You say cheese? No? Okay. All right. You want to stay up here or are you getting down? Okay. All right. Y'all know Maui is not coming over here. He's made a debut once or twice, and that's about it. So everybody's in here just running around having a good time. Praying, because I did not take my allergy medicine before the show, praying that I make it through here without letting y'all see how bad my allergies get. Okay. So let me first and foremost go back, because again, I always tell you my life and incorporate it into our discussion. So my birthday. Let me go back and say that this year, I don't know if I've mentioned to you. I don't know. That's funny. So I guess that really proves the point that I'm about to make. That this year for my birthday, leading up to okay, no, let's go all the way back first. A little more context. Yes, Bella. Okay. Is that I am normally pretty low key, for the most part in life in general. But around my birthday, that's the time that I just embrace my extraness, my extra side, my bratty side, and so my countdown usually always happens in December. I'll be like, the 3-month countdown is coming. Here comes my birthday. And I have always been that way. And so even in my adulthood, for whatever reason this year, not so much. And for no particular reason, truthfully, as it got closer, I just kept saying, I kept reevaluating, I'm aware that it's coming. I don't feel like I'm sad, mad, depressed, or low or angry. It's just, right? And I know some people on surface be like, oh, you're just an adult now. You just get it, that you're just not even supposed to. And I don't roll with that. I don't think that that's how people should feel about their own birthdays. Please cut that out. It's way too common. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Of just how, it's so common that people feel as though as an adult that you're just not supposed to, usually you come across that with men, but there are women as well. I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but just in general, that will think that you're not supposed to, or that if you don't really care to celebrate your birthday, that's fine, that's common, it should be, I'm sorry, not common, that's standard, that it just is what it, no, it just should not be, is my point. So I want us to cut that out. Okay. So, but the reason why I feel as though we should get better at that, so that way when we do have these moments I'm explaining, is that it's not a common thing that, it's abnormal. It should not be the norm, is my point. And so, as it's getting closer, I know I was going through my time of really trying to figure out having a good good amount of moments of like missing my brother and just really like, yeah, Bella, exactly. Trying to figure out like, am I really about to go through another birthday without him? Like this is really like bananas to me. And so I'm sorry, Benji, there's nothing to dig there, buddy. It's an ottoman. It's digging. And so I kind of worked through that ish, or just, roll through those moments. And really what it is now, fast forward to like just not having plans, like, I mean, making no plans at all. And what it was told to me, what I guess, okay, so my sister Andre, y'all are old viewers are familiar with her. That she said, she was like, she gets it. Like she gets that, something you just get tired of trying to plan things for, yourself. And then I chimed in like, well, yeah, it sucks because of course, if it's things that you plan, we want to say like, oh, it doesn't depend on people. Don't let people ruin your birthday, but it can, like it actually can. And I personally have experienced all too many times, and not even just like planning something, that too, but more so in an more intimate like setting, like, dating. Like I have had too many times, like again, I've only had 2 boyfriends, but I've had too many times where they, between the two, like have ruined, like I've had too many birthdays ruined by other people, more so like who I was dating, like ruined, destroyed, like diminished, like ridiculously. And so where it just should not be. But then also there's the other side of like, well, why, if, especially if you're dating someone, but then, or if you have friends or family, like why isn't, or why can't my birthday, why can't I expect, something to be, maybe, especially when you evaluate and like, well, I'm a good person. I do good unto others, like I'm loving, I'm genuine, I'm this, I'm that. And doesn't have to be in a boastful way, but just when you evaluate, right? And when you're actually able to come to those genuine conclusions. And then they're like validated by the people. Like, you always hear that, you get that. That's the feel that you get from people, even if they don't articulate it, all that jazz. And so, it's a little baffling. And so I'll get to the better and the best parts after this. Of that, I'll admit that I'm still working through like some feelings, emotions. So there are some people on the day of, that even if I ended up like talking to a few, that I just remember the day of feeling like, well, dang, I feel a little left out. I feel a little like unloved, like by some other people. And then there were people that really made sure that I had a good day. Like, because up until the very day, I had no plans, and anybody that knows me knew that just was unlike me. Even last year, I guess I was in the same trend of like, I don't want to have to deal with or planning. Well, I did technically, I planned something, people, but that really, I planned the party that happened before my birthday, after I had booked a solo trip to somewhere I had been dying to get to. I don't know why Nolans had always been on my list, but it had been, and I just had never made it there. And so I went and had an amazing time. And so, yeah, so it's just like, still there are like a few people I feel like that I haven't heard from yet, or like even one like that called me earlier and like gets to talking about like some like to take care of like some business, but it was just like, I don't recall you wishing me even a happy birthday, but okay, like I would expect more. So that's my thing. And like, even if it's brought up, like, oh yeah, just had, like in conversation, or like I brought up like, and no mention, no nothing, got it. Like I am that person. I guess I'll admit I'm sensitive about my birthday. Like that's it. Let's just throw that out on the table. And so I feel as though I have every right, and I feel as though each of us have every right to be sensitive about our birthdays, to the point where if you can't acknowledge, let me put this on me, if you can't acknowledge the day that I was born, and I literally mean just to acknowledge. I don't care in what capacity and what role we stand and position we hold in each other's lives. Literally just an acknowledgement. That's it. Just, I do low-key hate the HBD, but whatever. So I was about to say, even that though, like something that acknowledges that on this day, and you say, like, because I don't know. I could go on and on about that. It's just a thing. I know I've always been the person that, like, once you show me the energy that you have toward me for my own birthday, like the energy shifts and changes for me. I don't care. Like, that's it. Am I saying, oh, if you don't give me the stars, the sun, the moon on my birthday, then I don't want nothing? That's not the case. But simple acknowledgement, yeah, that's literally the bare minimum. Just saying. And so, okay, so to the best part of it, is that to our sisters, I don't know if I've ever mentioned the other one on here, and I don't think by name technically. So it's so funny because it's my sister Andrea, y'all know. But so the other sister, she's a mutual friend between Andrea and I. Like, I didn't even know, like, we, in a sense, like, grew up in the same, like, church, like, growing up. I don't know. Because then my family and I, we started, like, church hopping. So, but either so, and then we, like, reconnect, like, through Andrea. And it's like, oh, shoot, we actually know each other. I don't, you know me, I don't remember people. But then what the point is, so I'm grateful for her. Not saying it's only because of this, but because the girl only calls me when I'm doing my show. Speaking of Andrea, it never fails every Thursday while I'm doing the show. She calls me. And then we talk about it after the fact. She'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It never fails. Anywho, so look, she probably sent your show. Yes, my show. Yes. So, but yeah, so we are, they literally, long story short, they planned this like day trip, like getaway, little road trip. And I'm always the one like fighting, like, I don't want to go on road trips. I've gone on plenty of them. Always wanted to say I hated it going into it and then loved it, even if I turned to be the driver or whatever. It actually works out better if I'm the driver. But this time around, because I do so much every single day, so much driving, so many good parts about it. One in particular, just the fact that being in the car for as long as we were, that I was never the driver. Oh my gosh. Like, I cherish that moment. I have not been the driver in so long. It's ridiculous. Like, I am just always transporting somebody, going and moving and going. And where I felt like, not necessarily that the walls were caving in, but I just felt like people were just closing and just getting closer and closer of just like their needs, like pulling. I mean, even on the day of my birthday, somebody calls me that I would have thought, which have birthday, they were calling me for a ride. And I missed their call, called them back. That hurt my feelings a little bit. Someone else, I think it was like the day before. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me text back because no problem. Sorry, I'm sorry, y'all. This is real life. This is real life. If y'all ever want to show this without my life in it, then just let me know. But I don't see it happening. I ain't gonna lie to you. Wait a minute. Sorry. Doing my show. Call you after. Okay. Okay. So yes. Okay. Where was I? Sensitive about birthday. I know I said that. Fast forward. Oh, right. Like I said, so some people were like, so like, even like, I think it was the day before, maybe the day before, like I mentioned, like, hey, trying to ask me to come get them, like, from far place to take them to another farther from their, like, I had to say, like, I can't. People don't understand. Like, for me, it does take a lot for me to say no, but I will, like, especially if I really can't. And if I know that it's just, I would have been on like overload. First it was like sensory overload, or it's just been, so this goes back to my first point when I opened the show of just, I do feel like I'm drowning a little bit. I do. And like everything, and somehow still juggling, but drowning, just juggling with grace. Like, drowning with grace, like just drowning gracefully. There we go. That's my sentiment tonight. And I don't want to stay in that, but I do want to acknowledge and recognize that I am in a place of feeling as though that I am drowning. And I don't plan to drown. And it's funny that I'm even use this analogy because I can't swim. So you would think that it would scare me to even use this analogy. But either way. So yeah, so it was just a lot. So me already not feeling like, in a sense, like the love, right? And then even so the weekend prior, so I invited some folks to church because I had no plans at all. Still, all I did was in last week send out a message. I didn't make a group chat because people are weird about that. So send it individually to quite a few people. Really just went up and down. Like who I had been like texting recently, truthfully, and just who I thought like, oh, probably want to, or just really benefit from it. Like that's usually always what I get around to. Like, my birthday is usually like for people. Like last year when I decided to have, I had a, I told you all about it, but Just a recap, like before I went on my trip, I had a movie night, outside movie night. It's crazy. That was really cold, but I like rented like heated tents and popcorn machine and all that, like this photo booth, like all of this for Coming to America 2 that was coming out. And I had that, and it was really because, and then like who I invited, it was like people that hit me up, one, because I was sticking to like, I remember in particular, and I even call her my sister, she is my sister, but I just can't help it. So I remember just feeling like, oh, I felt a little unloved, like from, I think my last birthday or something. So I hadn't necessarily like thought, this is a prime example, I hadn't thought to invite her initially, but until I think she reached out to me, and I was like, oh yeah, perfect, boom. Because I'm the person trying to like force myself and force things on people. Like whatever's gonna come to me, I'd rather it come to me. I need it to be genuine. Because other than that, I'm gonna question it. I know myself. And so, you all right? You comfy? You doing okay? Okay. Bella's just checking it. But yeah, what is it that you're looking at over there? Did you want to look at the people? No? Did you want to look at yourself? Okay. Put my legs back the way they were. Okay. She was uncomfy. Because I moved my legs. So, but yeah, so either way, like anyone that I invited, and even if I like ended up inviting them, oh gosh, it's okay. It's okay. I'll call you after. It's okay. I'll call you after. Okay. Okay. Okay, one more. LOL, yes. This is me texting for real. I gotta say it out loud. The problem is sometimes I say it out loud, don't text it, never send it, never respond. Moving on. Lord help me tonight. Okay, so all of that anyway. And so who I invited, like I said, even if I ended up inviting them, it was like from in my opinion, like it was for people that I knew could like needed a night out, could, you know, use just some time out away from, you know, whomever, whatever. Hey Mel, hey Jean. I'm just rambling on. Welcome. Come on in. Ramble with me. Getting somewhere, I promise, but taking the long route tonight. Because I just need to work through my stuff, and I feel like we all do. Oh my gosh, hey Brent. I just saw that the first name pop up. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Love me some you. Love me some you. Love you, for real. I mean that. Again, I'm still rambling on, so ramble with me. So yeah, so I felt some like unloved on my birthday, and it's crazy because of course like Facebook like gives you like your memories and all of that. And so I realized like over the years, like that's been a trending topic, like a trending theme rather, like it's a returned theme, right? Like a repeated theme. And I felt that. And I need to figure myself through that, right? And so put a pin in that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure I write that down because I didn't even have that in my notes, y'all. Hold on. I gotta see where I want to put it. I don't know. I'm gonna throw it right here. I'm trying. Hold on. What I say? Repeated. Y'all, this is really a day in the life of repeated theme, unloved on B-Day. Oh, I hate saying B-Day unless I'm saying B, like B-E-E day. But B-Day, like short for birthday. It's like people that say B more. Ugh. Moving on. Unless it's like playing on whatever. But yeah, so that, right? The best part, finally get to that. So sisters come and they plan this getaway trip. They kidnap me, go to Pennsylvania to pick up one. So of course Andrea's here. Go to pick up Sarah is the other sister because I feel like I'm confusing myself trying to keep y'all of who's who. Go get Sarah from Pennsylvania. Boom. Sarah drives us. We go to Atlantic City. I have never been a gambler, not a gambler, never been. So it's funny because I ain't gonna lie, like even posting like where I was, and I don't even know why I thought to do that, but I did. I checked in like when I was in Pennsylvania, and I checked in. I just put Jersey though, because I didn't want people to, you know, get a little weird. And I feel like it's okay to be, I'll say cautious. Like kudos to the people that live out loud and live unapologetically, and that's okay. And I encourage that. I really, really do. I'm just not that person. I feel as though like there are things like I have been calculated. in back in the day. I am analytical. So I think things through, and I do believe that we people, a lot of you, I love you, but a lot of you, I'm not saying to be as analytical as I am, but just to, take that in a little more and just think things through sometimes. Like, you can absolutely live your life, but sometimes it just takes to think things through a little more. And so I only thought of that one in particular because it was just like, I know what comes along with that. And for some people, they'll be like, oh, I don't care. They can think what you're right. And I don't know. I just didn't want anybody, because the thing is, if I was there to gamble and wanted to, then I'd be like, hey, but only because it does not exist. So it's just like, if I was to say, if I was to post, say if it was a really cute dispensary, is the word I'm looking for, because when I smoked, I did not smoke and deal with dispensary, so that's why I didn't know what to call it. Because I was saying, I don't think anything's called a weed house. I don't know. I was thinking when I smoked, I got weed from a weed man. So either way, so if it was like a dispensary or something, say if it was this beautiful mural on the outside and I wanted to take a picture with it, I may not necessarily like, especially if it don't really show like the weed plant, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be that. Like, I've really always been that person that really comes all the way back. I feel like I'm sure in childhood too, but definitely like when I think of like stepping into my early adulthood, I would be like, going out to party or whatever. Like, anybody don't take pictures of me, hold no cup. There's probably a few of them in life, but don't catch me, my twerk video, don't. And that was because I thought I was going into politics. So lo and behold, though, that my purpose really was, I didn't want to say redirected. I needed to be redirected to stay on the path in which I was meant to, follow. Because really it's like, in like ministry and all that, like, I would hate to be one of those people, probably a terrible comparison, but I'm gonna compare it anyway. I would hate to be one of those people like far into ministry or just getting into ministry as I am now. And then something could pop up, kind of like how the racist folk, like they far into politics and then their blackface pictures come up. You'd be like, ooh, oh, I love this. Oh, it's so good. And I need to have one. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna stop reading my messages. I'm lying. I ain't gonna lie. Hi Nina. No, that's a message from her. Whew, okay, y'all. There's no agenda. There's no focus tonight. I ain't lying. I'll admit that, for real. I am about to towel us into my topic though, promise. So, anyway, go to Atlantic City, and it was really literally to get your room. So cute, such a good room. I definitely should have took the time to get in the bathtub, and I did not. It was a jacuzzi tub. I love the shower. Side note, I love I'm just gonna call it the indentation of like where they cut into the wall and have it to where you can put like your soap and stuff like that. I love that because I had that in one of my apartments. Probably, I would just say one of my favorite. My favorite. All of them were my favorites. But yeah, so and I don't use either. This is weird. Not to say I'm filthy. Well, technically, I showered literally right before we hit the road. Like, the point is, I can't wait to. I would definitely go back, or at least to try to get a room that resembles that, because that was so cute. But it felt good. It did feel good. I always love, my favorite part of traveling, literally, is waking up, especially if I travel like somewhere near water, is waking up somewhere new. That is all, like, I want to do just that, travel to where I'm waking up that, like, that more. Oh my gosh, I love that. Love that. And so that did something for me. And then really we grabbed food. Like, we got up, got dressed, grabbed food, went to Gordon Ramsay. I'm not gonna say overrated, but side note, because I'd never been to Gordon Ramsay, even like here. But I realized, I think what I had in mind was a dinner menu, and it was not. We were there for lunch, and it was a very limited lunch menu. It was very disappointed. The food was okay though that we got. It was cool. The strawberry cheesecake definitely hit. Okay. But okay. So that was the much better part of my birthday. Best part of beside logistics and all that, trying to figure, of course, big mommy, have to rush back from out of town, still on like everybody else's dime and watch. Like, can't be like, hey, get your car, let's go. I gotta get my baby to take her somewhere else to go to this. I went to adult skate night. I know the point I was making earlier. that the weekend before and after like my birthday, I invited people to go to church with me. And so ended up like there was like some of us that needed like a ride. That it was one person that needed a ride, fine, and then there was another person like kind of like last minute asked me. I get overloaded, like of feeling like I'm trying to fulfill all these requests. That's why, as a part of me feeling like I'm drowning, it's already have my stuff, like assignments and stuff I need to do and prepare for and this and that. That was a side note. So y'all take that how you need to. Again, this is me dumping out and rambling. I appreciate y'all to come on here and just allow me to ramble. There's some good out of it though, I promise. If you stick through the rambling, I was trying to think of a rhyming word. I was about to say there's always some shambling. I don't know what shambling means. I don't know if it's a word. It's fine. So, jumping back though, I get back in town. I get to Sydney. Oh my gosh, my baby was so happy for my birthday. Like, made my day. Like, she had me yellow roses. I'm looking at them. They're right like behind my MacBook. I'm gonna show you one of my favorite ones. I always have whenever I have flowers, especially roses. Well, no. So my favorite is actually tulips and sunflowers. But look at that one. Whenever I have flowers, though, I always have a favorite. And that's one. Let's see if I can stick that back there nicely. Hopefully that went in there. But yeah. And so it's funny because this year I felt like bringing it in as far as like not having plans. The only thing I had thought about, one is supposed to be a photo shoot. I was waiting on some dress that I had ordered. I finally even gotten around to like ordering some stuff. I ordered like 2 skirts and a dress for dinner. That was a dress I ended up wearing like to lunch on my birthday. The 2 skirts were like for church before and after. And then, oh Lord, okay. So yeah, so that was like, so I had 2 outfits. Mommy always make sure, like in the days where I didn't really go to church as much, it'd be like, make sure you always go to church before and after your birthday. Like it's, and then like, you know, like New Year, what. And so that was that. And then like I said, I had that dress. What I planned to do with that one dress though, that was for dinner, all I really planned to do was take myself to dinner. And then leading up to my birthday, I was just like, I guess I'm not even gonna do that either. It wasn't until Monday, my birthday was Tuesday. It wasn't until Monday that I even looked up the place that I thought about going, because I knew I wanted to go to one of those like really cute vibey spots I've seen on TikTok where people tag and kind of show you what's cute. And so that was that. And Bella, it's okay. We're gonna scoot you up a little bit more, Fat Mama. There we go. Yeah, like it's in DC, so I was even gonna like take the train over if it was so cheap, so I wouldn't have to worry about anything. I just did not want to deal. That's the point. So this year I feel like that must be a part of like the theme of like, I just don't it's a different type of, I know I always say it like I'm different, but I am. So I'm gonna just spare you the trying to figure that part out. Like I am very different because of, even if I'm saying the same thing, I mean something different than what most people usually mean by something, right? And so when people say okay, so yeah, so they just, I don't know, do it then. Okay, so like I just, child, I was gonna do that and just again did not. Like I said, the dress that I still am looking for, I don't know, the dress I'm supposed to do this photo shoot with, you got to catch me in a mood, and it's only been because it's been badgered in my head from my sister Andrea, and then our mutual friend or whatever that owns a studio and all that. Shout out to the Lab Baltimore. That, you know, has really been trying to talk me into like doing a shoot or whatever. I'm just, I'm awkward. But I really was looking forward to it, right? So that was really all I had in mind for my birthday. Also, that means I'll get around to it. My point of me learning is like, it doesn't have to all be, I wanted it to be before my birthday, so that way I would have like posted those pictures. I ain't gonna lie, I think I realized that my dress may not be something I need to post those pictures in. We're gonna take a break real quick, and we'll be right back. Okay, so back with some news, y'all, and then we're gonna tie everything into what I was just rambling on about. I promise. Y'all ready for this news? Yeah, sure. Okay, Bella, are you ready for the news? Yes. Okay. So after being found guilty of okay, you all right? Of 5 out of 6 charges of disorderly conduct, Jussie Smollett has been sentenced to 150 days in jail and 30 months of probation. He was immediately remanded into custody. He also has to pay $120,000 in restitution and a $25,000 fine.
I don't know. I don't know.
And thank you. Okay. And there's your news.
I don't know what to say anymore about that.
Exactly. Like
I want to believe him, but then
very hard to.
He's appealing, so we just got to see.
That's it. I'm sure he is.
Because both stories are plausible. Both sides.
Okay.
He said he didn't do it. They said he did it. Both stories are plausible. Just because I was in a convenience store with those 2 black guys doesn't mean I could buy rope if I want to.
Yeah, that's oh Lord, I'm trying to pull this girl paper up. Girl.
I could buy rope and bleach if I want to. Maybe I was washing clothes.
Right.
Hang them from a clothesline.
Right, it was laundry day. Oh, Mama.
I went to hang them at the park, the tree.
Oh, Lord, girl. Gotta get you together. Okay. But yeah, okay.
It's the 150 days part for me.
You said what?
It's the 150 days part for me.
Listen. Okay.
Like, it say jail though. It does say jail.
Yeah, not prison.
And not prison. Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good
It's
thing.
A little bit different. You might get done in your butt right there.
Okay. Shut up. Listen, I pray that all is well.
Although
Jesse, keep your head.
He's a bottom.
All right. And so, because there's nothing to say, y'all. There's nothing to say, especially after that, because I don't know if y'all heard him, but I heard him and he's ignorant. So, all right. Update y'all on birthday. Update y'all on that. What did I say? I put a pin in something. Oh, the repeated theme of unloved on my B-Day, right? So what do you do with repeated themes? So there's of course a lot of talk about like when we keep saying the same number and when we keep hearing the same word and a theme, it may be a repeated feeling, right? What do you do with it? Do you just sit in it? Do you ignore it? I think I'm not pointing over fingers. I'm definitely not calling nobody out there. I probably am in this, but I think a lot of us, and so I'm saying us because at some point, I think that's what I know a lot of times what I want to do. And sometimes I give in to that. A lot of the times I do fight against it. Like, I'm not trying to ignore it. Let me work through that. But I'll admit that I've been trying to suppress some feelings. And again, it does stem back from, my birthday. Like, what in the world? Like, I'm not gonna lie, like a me, to have a me in your life, I would want to celebrate me so heavy, so hard. And I know that anyone, I guess, that cannot, that does not and cannot just see, all that it is in me, then I think that I probably can come off to be like, oh God, it just takes so much. It takes so much that shit. I was going through something. They don't realize like it's deeper than that. Like, no, I'm spiritually always under attack. Like, my God, like, listen, if I go, ooh, Bella, you all right? Girl, you almost took you a little tumble. Let's get you down there. Get your feet. There you go, mamas. Okay, then. I promise. What was that? I was going to say PTSA. What is it? Everybody, ASPCA. There it is. I did not throw no dog on the floor. Okay, I want to be very clear. But yeah, like I I don't know. I've realized that, like, in the friends and all that I told y'all that, like, are no longer my friends. I think in my reflection time, once I was like, especially once I was better, in a better place about it, that I was like, I'm sure to them, like, maybe it was, and I won't know this. That's always my issue. I always want to know when something is severed, when something breaks, it's a break apart, whatever. I always want to know, like, I've lived through, just getting my own closure, right? But I do, usually always just want to know, like, bro, just tell, like, what is it? It's like, oh, you were too much. Like, it was too much to be your friend. Oh God. Like, in dating scenarios where, like, talk to, entertain someone, like I've shared with y'all before, there's just been like, you're too much, of a woman, like too much of a woman that I'm not used to, type thing, right? So it's like, it's something, and it'd be like, oh, okay, like, oh, I'm complicated, or oh, this or that, okay, right? Either who. And so either way, when you get that though, like, when you get an answer, or when you even are able to come to a conclusion, what do you do with that? Do you keep going back to it? Because believe it or not, I'm taking my socks off. I'm just getting my life in order on camera tonight. Excuse me, y'all. I did not sniff my sock, by the way. I went to cover my mouth for that little cough choke thing I did with my sock still in my mouth. Hand. Y'all compare this show to next week's show and tell me if my life is better by next week. That's my plan. Okay. Did somebody poop? Who pooed it? Yes. Okay. Benji wants to get up now. Jesus, everybody's all right. Here's Benji. Oh, there's that smile. There it is. How to binge. There he is. That it's I won't just use the word funny, but it's funny how that some of us that claim to say, we'll ignore it, that's it, that we will actually still return to it. And what is that? What's that? Right? I don't want to say return back because that's redundant, but going back to it, although we're saying we're ignoring it, all of this is that's unaddressed, unhealed, so imagine in a scenario of a dating in the dating world, and you're dating someone, maybe you're even in a relationship with them, and they have shown you truthfully, like, time and time again, like, you do not matter. Okay. And I know it's almost like the unbelief that makes us kind of deal with it, and you just have to be honest with yourself, because in relationships that have ended, especially the ones that were definitely supposed to end, where I get that there are the exceptions. That's Bella. Still sound like a pig. It's so cute. Okay, Benji staying here. In those scenarios, is it is it that you addressed if you had addressed those issues, whatever that was, then would it be something that you would return to? Would you stay in that scenario? So that's returning, right, to the same person, same situation. I'm not even gonna call it toxic, because I'm not even just talking about your most toxic relationships, even just ones that may not have been toxic, or massively toxic like others, compared to other situations and relationships, but still just weren't good for you, right? And so what do you do with those? Like, is that one like, oh, it's not as toxic as the other one, so no, let me stay here, well, let me go back to that? No, the fire, here's your topic for tonight, the fire is still hot. And this can go so many different ways, because now I'm getting a download here, where the fire is still hot no matter what level it's on. So you think the stove, the burner, you got it on high, medium, low. That's for those. I don't even know those, actually. I'm thinking about mine, which is like the numbers, right? What do I have on mine? I can't even. I know you click it, click, and get the gas going. I don't know. Either way, okay, it's levels. Either way, the fire is hot. The block is hot. The block is hot. Like it just is, right? And so do you go back to touch it? Also, though, see, the way that I initially was going with this topic, as far as the fire is being as in that the fire is still hot, as in don't touch it. So it's different levels. So it's still hot no matter what level it's on. And then the second is it's hot, don't touch it. Or, and I'm jumping ahead of my notes and self, and I'm gonna go back though, but No, I'm not going to jump back. I actually want to end on that. So we're going to leave that. It's one more way that at least I've come up with. And if you have other ways of which, the fire is hot, when you compare it and kind of place it over top of, scenarios in your life, and see the, the outline of that, then let me know in the comments. You can, as you're liking and sharing the show, you can call in and text the show. You can do all of those wonderful things. The number is 443-642-9403. Again, 443-642-9403. But as in when we think of like the fire is still hot, there's my first note is that burdens of the adults don't need to carry on to the next generation. First B tip of the week. I got a couple of them this week. So unaddressed issues. Again, we'll stick with the dating scenario. Unaddressed issues then fall on someone else. Life is a living matter. That's really a B tip of the week. Life is a living matter. Put that somewhere. Yeah, I gave you that first. Like it still goes on. Life literally goes on, right? It does not stop. Heck, if you really believe even death does not stop life, okay? Then there's afterlife. Amen. And so what you're doing, and then the life that you're cultivating, around you, the surrounding that you are and will always be the product of your environment. It is on you at some point that if you did not come from, a healthy environment, to cultivate that. And I know that takes some breaking, right? That takes some changing, some shifting, and you have to do that. It's necessary. So when you get these, repeated, that's what I look for, repeated themes, right? Whereas I've said that around my birthday and I felt like unloved, right? That's by certain people, but where I am literally in the day, and it's just days after my birthday, where I'm shifting my thoughts, is to really make sure that I hone in and stick to who I felt loved by on my birthday, on and for and around my birthday, right? My sister in Atlanta, oh my God, Shola, like just always shows up. Even my brother here, like my son is the one with my nieces and nephews here, like he showed love, like just, like my parents, at least, of course I had to shift and figure out some logistics. And I was like, oh, I really wish somebody would just invite themselves and just take my daughter just for that day. So I wouldn't have to really be responsible, but it's okay. Either way, I still appreciate that they did something. I thought that my daughter's like Gigi and Grand Mansion and on morning, I thought that they like forgot about birthday. So I felt a little sad there. Like, oh my God, they're my family too. Like, I know they're from his side. And so I have a little moment of like, oh, I got to be reminded that they're from his family. But no, then I was like, oh, they didn't forget. Okay. Like, like I could stay with the, oh, y'all let the whole day go by. I wouldn't do that. I would show love. Like I've had, these thoughts and feelings that I've just had to, and I'm still working through. Like I can feel that I'm in like a little, like I've been wanting to just go back to just being left alone. Like Benji just hopped off my lap. He wants to be left alone. And so you got to learn, like it's something that may not sound like a lot to any of you, but I know that that's the appropriate amount of work that needs to be applied to this type of scenario. Why I feel like, anyone I've talked to or entertained, or I guess you can say like dated or whatever recently, like it's just like, dang, oh, I done pissed some people off. Like I hear from, okay. And so then I've learned there too. Let's talk about it, right? Of like, Benia, let's get back to not giving yourself. Let's just not. Because that, I'm sure that's what has made me more susceptible to feeling this way about not being as loved and appreciated and loved on from certain people, right? So there's that. I absolutely do not and cannot respect anyone that projects. Like, so say if like I haven't talked to you, all day, so it was a special day, so a birthday or something like that, right? I haven't talked to you. And then maybe I talk to you that next day or whenever it is the next day I talk to you. And I'm like, oh, like either if it's the lie or like try to project like, oh, it's crazy. I called you and then, I didn't hear from you, or that like jump straight into it, be like, bro, I did not talk to you. I didn't go. I respect that a lot more. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you do with that? My allergies are trying to keep up on me, y'all. I'm fighting through them, okay? Y'all bear with me, because when I say last night, allergies almost won. Like it was a TKO. But yeah, so the point is, because my theme overall, like when I broke into this year, right, I always take heed to the theme that is set, because I truly believe that the bishop and pastor that I, serve under, I truly believe he's led by God. I truly, truly do. And also, remember that everyone is human. So I'm not making him a God, but I believe that he definitely, that the Spirit talks to him, and that he, governs, himself and the church and all, and in church business, according to the Holy Spirit. And so that being said, I always take heed to the theme that he sets over the house, basically, like over our church theme. Always, I think most, if not all, churches have a theme every year. And so if not, either way, we do. And so I always take heed to that. But there's always, your spiritual walk, your journey is yours, right? It's unique. It's tailored to you, because you are uniquely and wonderfully made. Amen. You are, what does he say? I love that he quotes and says that you are a designer's original. That is from my Bishop Dr. Jonathan Wallace Sr. I really appreciate him for that one. Like that one, the fact that I remember that off the top of my head, that's good. Usually I'll be like, oh, that's something good I wrote down. Let me get it on my phone. But that one I remember. I have it in my phone too, but that that one I remember. And so being that means that what is for you is uniquely and wonderfully made and tailored. I keep doing this because I'm like wrapping it around, but for you, to you, for you, by your God, right? And so I always have my own theme, right? I feel like it's just always a divine download for me. Like last year's was discipline, right? Wasn't last year, was that the year before? This year was about, I guess the word really would be appropriation, but like appropriate, oh Lord, wow, go to talk about it again. Can't even get the words out. I'll just say like either way, it's just along the lines of what I just said. I cannot think of, like, it was a cute little way that I remember it, but because it shortens the whole thing. But either way, of just like, oh, there we go. Appropriate application. There we go. Ooh, thank you, Lord. Appropriate application, like to apply, and see how that still leaves it open. Applying the appropriate amount of energy, efforts, thoughts, care, not necessarily worry, but concern, all these things. There's a comma between all of these. I've always said energy and effort, productivity, like all of that, like motion. I've already said energy, like all of those things though. Even and now, as I'm thinking about it, thank you, Lord, of like in my emotions. So if I'm sad, applying just the appropriate amount of sadness, not making myself, because sometimes, as I talk to my daughter about this, like making yourself, like, you can catch a child, but even us, like we will like, think of something like, oh my God, he didn't call me on my birthday. Oh my God. Like it might take like just enough to be like, okay, dang, that really does kind of suck. Start thinking about stuff, not necessarily justifying it for the person, but you start thinking about it, thinking it through, like, dang, that all right. Like, and that's it. You work through that. Is at least you've acknowledged it, you recognize and acknowledge that you feel some way, you're allowed to, okay. And then you work through that. And it's not so you keep moving, but that's technically right. You move through it though. You do not leave it unaddressed. I'm gonna give you all a piece of news that you positively can use. Okay, sorry. It's a lame joke. And then I'm gonna get back to discussion. So new superseding indictment followed against State's Attorney of Baltimore City, Maryland Mosby. That means same charges with new evidence added. The new evidence, prosecutors say it strengthens their case. A motions hearing is set for April 14th and jury trial is on May 2nd. I honestly don't have anything to say about this one either, y'all. It's really just a wait and see, isn't it? Because now this is a one, and I'll say this quickly because I truly don't have much to say about this at all, or if anything. This is one that I feel like what you said, Monty, earlier about Jussie Smollett, like that on both sides. I feel like for her, she really could be, and I will admit this too before I say that, is that I don't know all of the ins and outs, but of what I recall and like have put together, is that I know they're calling for her, but I believe the issue is that there's been like some like talk, like here he say she say. So I'm trying to make sure I'm separating that. But like the he say she say, I believe has come out like in all of this of like, you know, the husband, I won't even name, but you know, her husband, that you know he misappropriated some things, and the third. So then of course they're trying to pin both of them. And so what sucks is that I guess it could very well be this is the issue that in life in general, in society, we do not like juggle the possibility. I'm sorry, let me not use that word here. We do not juggle the idea and the concept that there's a possibility that something could be. We are so close-minded, so small-minded. I only say we because truthfully, I'm pretty like open-minded, but still, I'm sure in some ways and shape and form that I can be closed-minded as well. That this could be, right? It could very well be that they did everything that they're coming for their next for. And it also could be not. Like that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that this is where this is why I have no words, and it's just waiting out to see because I can't, you know, go running and yelling to the high heavens like, she is absolutely innocent, Your Honor. There's no way. I wasn't with her. I don't know. I definitely, you know, and then that's the thing. That is what's scary about marriage. I'm not gonna lie. I still look forward to it, but it's like, Lord, I've got to be with somebody I can trust their business, like their intention, like everything, their motives, all of it. I have to be able to trust you 100%.
You know, it's the problem that I have with this prosecution is that it just seems so
forced,
set up.
Yeah.
Right into her election year.
Right.
And like you said, it could be very well that this is true, and it could be very well that it's not true. But at the same time, is it worth?
There we go.
That's
the real question, right? That's the
that
thing.
you're trying to give this to, because what's not going to happen is that you're not going to revoke the house that she purchased.
Okay.
Because she's still making payments on it. So if she's doing that in good faith, what is your issue really?
Right, it's your issue.
I think it's more so that you're trying to, like, this made it all the way up to the federal level instead of this being a state issue from Florida.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Interesting that they were talking about this, about a Democrat in Baltimore, about property in a Republican state of Florida.
How about that? How about
you see what I'm saying? You see how this could be the scientists.
Yes.
Just to throw him in this. This is a hypothesis. I'm not saying he's involved, but to throw Governor DeSantis in here for saying, "Oh, look what I got on. Let's send this to the federal, you know, to the U.S. Attorney's Office to see what they think about this."
Right.
Because she done brought property here in my state.
Right.
Back in 2020, using all this stuff, and that's the kind of stuff that like to, you know, hit a Republican's desk and they can go run wild with it.
Yes,
trying to make all kinds of accusations. Oh, this looks like mortgage fraud. This looks like this. This looks like that. And in all actuality, it might not be.
Right. It might really just check out, and that's.
And but that's why a way to step in lines of her election that is June 28th.
Exactly. That's why everybody has to cool their jets. One, because even the prosecution, and I know it's not their job necessarily, but I think if they're smart, and I know that our justice system isn't fair.
What's
but if it were,
you say what you can say, what's interesting is about this too, is that this is, like I said, it's called a superseding indictment, right? You mean to tell me when you were declaring your charges in the first, that all of a sudden you found new evidence that you did not see at first?
Right.
Now, to give you a little bit on that, the new evidence that they said they found is, says a letter dated December 10th mentions Mosby already had another property near Disney World, and she and her family had been living there for a previous 70 days, right? Okay. Mosby was in Baltimore for at least one of those days for a news conference that was on December the 7th. So they're trying to make it seem like she was not living in Florida during that time. But then they also go back and say, well, she could have came up for that one day to do a press conference and then went back. It's a pandemic.
Like, first of all, pick one. Second of all.
So it says prosecutors also added a claim that Mosby submitted a false gift letter saying that her husband gifted her $5,000 towards the cost of this home. Saying that she actually paid the money herself. But it doesn't matter. Right there, you're trying to conflate the word of her spouse against hers.
Right. That. And does
Because
no
if they
one
had that
see
account
the
together,
trend?
but
Speaking of,
the $5,000 in the account was hers, but the account was joint.
right. Speaking of
He
the
still would need to
repeated,
get
like
that. She can't just steal money from her
repetition,
husband.
the fact that does no one see like this trend of like bringing, I'm not laughing, taking, let's just say attacking, let's use that word, attacking Black women in power within Baltimore City. You had Sheila, you even had Stephanie Rawls Blake. I don't care what people's opinions were. It just, I think that one was in a different way. It was still, it's the attack, and then now Maryland. Like, can we just have?
I have a feeling that this is because all the things that she has prescribed to in the past couple of years with decriminalizing stuff on her own. I'm not going to do any more marijuana charges.
Right.
I'm not going to prosecute those kind of charges. I'm not going to do this. I want these people released.
Right.
You know,
persecuted for the things that make sense is ridiculous.
Exactly, and I think that's it is, and it's probably something that Biden has no idea that's happening because it's so low rung on the totem pole, so it's never probably reaching his desk.
Okay.
And he shouldn't, because the Department of Justice should work independently.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this seems so small.
It is.
In light of her prosecution, which is like turning people's heads, making it seem like it's true before it's even prosecuted.
Right.
And these are our values that we never actually take into account, that you are not guilty until proven so.
Right.
That woman is still innocent until proven guilty. And if she got balls to go through all of this still claiming that she didn't do it if she did.
Right.
Because it's going to come out.
That's true.
And it's still before the election. Like I said,
about it, I'll be like, yo, all right, I lied. Like, yes, definitely.
I mean, because how that's going to go over? Right. You can put all this money into running and then lose because you lied. That's, I mean.
No, really. That's why I say that I definitely agree with, like, it's just.
But you're an attorney yourself, too, so you better be having all your T's.
Yeah. That's now, thank you. That's why I said I didn't have much to say on it. That's been my only feeling throughout this whole thing. Look, bro, this baby girl, please dot the T's twice.
Because it can't be me. It couldn't be me. You can never catch me like that.
Even just cross them.
That's crazy.
Cross them eyes here.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous on too many accounts. But here we are. Now my thing is, what is happening with Nick? Like I know I said I won't go name him. I'm sorry, but it's just her on the hot seat. I'm not saying I don't know. See, that's why I can't, because I don't even know if I want them. Like, do I want them to really gun for him?
But he's not up for election. He's not up for re-election.
My point is, though, if y'all have an issue, y'all have an issue, right?
Exactly.
And that's why I said it makes me think
it's both of them, because they are married, so there's both of their properties regardless of the fact.
She's like, they're dragging her. Like,
that's why I said about the court, the tax thing.
Right.
You keep calling her out because she's up for re-election, but they're married. Exactly. And I don't know how their tax returns are filed, whether they do married filing individually or what.
Right.
But still, he's head of household.
Exactly my point. Exactly. And I don't like to get in people's stuff, but yeah. Like,
he's head of household.
If y'all have an issue with it, then that means y'all really coming to figure out. Nobody's ever trying to, even this takes us back into that topic. Nobody is ever trying to, and I use the word nobody loosely. I will say that. I know there's always an exception, but in general, nobody's ever trying to really find the solution out of, the problem, like whatever their problem is. Me, I'm the person, like, whatever problem I have, I'd rather deal with, the root, the source of that problem in order to get to a resolve. We are never trying to, again, in general, we're never trying to move to a place of resolve. We're just moving just to say we move, to be able to check it off the list. Like,
let me ask you a question. Say, for instance, and let me know if you feel as though this is wrong. That's what the question is about.
Okay.
I'm going to go buy a house because the pandemic just hit. And the only way to safely for my family to travel is for us to have a home that we can only go to. Right?
Okay.
And it's just it's a vacation home. So we want to buy a vacation home that we can only go to so we can stay safe during a pandemic, because all this is happening in 2020 in the height of the pandemic. There was nowhere for us to go. So we want to buy a home in Florida that we can go and vacation to, right? Mm-hmm. Why is it that I cannot use COVID funds for that?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If this is the only place I can go to remain safe, and my family cannot be depressed at home like the rest of us are,
right?
Because I can afford to
still
go.
Allowed to travel, right?
Why can't my COVID funds? Why can't I get my COVID loan from my 403b to go purchase a home for my family using my COVID funds? Using the COVID benefit that was awarded, that it says is available to everyone.
Right.
You can use COVID hardship to purchase a home. That's one of the hardship things. That's one of the qualifying factors of your 403b. It says if you're buying a home, you can use those funds. Why not this?
It doesn't say it has to be your only home, first home.
Exactly.
Home.
The stipulation is if you want to buy a house, you can use your 401k money. Period. There's no other stipulations for loan. So I'm trying to figure out what the fraud is.
Right.
And I think that's what they're arguing, is that the COVID funds were available to me. I can use my 401k, and whether I took it or not. So what is the point of you trying to prosecute me for something that you can just go ahead and penalize me? If I did it wrong, penalize me.
Penalize me, exactly.
Take your 10%.
Exactly. If it's something wrong, then you show me that it's wrong by penalizing me. That's it.
That's again why I said this is not a criminal case that they're trying to make it into. This is a IRS violation where you should be penalizing.
That's it. And then it could come out to
taxpayers' money for trying to be in the spotlight.
Exactly. And this could come out to be like an educational piece. Like, hey, this is how you do things wrong. And this is what happens if you do it wrong.
It becomes malicious prosecution because you knew what you were trying to do. You were trying to damage my reputation as I'm getting ready to renew my office. You knew exactly what you were doing. That's why you waited till 2021 to bring this up, when you knew I was getting ready to have to start preparing to run and then be reelected on June 28th.
Yep. Yep.
It wasn't a stop.
That's true. Did you mean?
Sorry, I lost
audio. Oh, there we go. I was like, wait. I was like, that's how you make a point. But yes, and daggone yes. And then this is so this is where, okay, I'm tying it in because we about to get out of here, y'all. So this is what I think of. And again, I am not the person, like, I don't sit around and try to figure people's stuff out. But of course, when things cross your mind, you're allowed to work those thoughts. It makes me think of, and this is where my heart comes into play all the time. I care for people and I just wonder, I had to do the math. All right, let me hurry up because I keep losing my thoughts between these breaks. So it makes me wonder though, of like, even with this scenario and like to move us away from this Marilyn Mosby case, but just thinking of it though, of like the turmoil that this really causes in their household. Like, this is why this is disgusting to me. Like, I don't want to say I could care less about, the case and this and that, because that's the cause, of this, of what, and not saying that I know this. So I want to be very clear. This is just my thoughts, Benia's thoughts. Again, welcome to Benia's thought tank. And it just makes me wonder and really hope that they are able to work through their things, because this is how it ties into, where we were talking about that, I'll requote it. Burdens of the adults don't need to carry on to the next generation. And so just meaning that your burdens, it's not fair. It's not okay for them to spill over to other people, especially because burdens are only unaddressed issues, right? Burdens aren't really, unless you're talking spiritually, where you're burdened, by, the gift that God has given you and all of that. That's a different thing. But burdens are only those very things that spill over, if they're unaddressed. That's what makes them a burden. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back to jump right back into this before we get out of here for the night. I've always been an open book, and it was time to write the story that God has been preparing me to share. Dear Tombstone is a glimpse
into all of the hardest things that I've dealt with and that were sent to kill me, deter me, and delay me from fulfilling my purpose that God has set over my life. Is a journey down memory lane for me, but hopefully it encourages you to tell your story. It's now available on Amazon.
Can train and certify over 10,000 students in 10 years. We can renovate over 10,000 houses in 10 years. This is the Inner City Trade School Project, sponsored by Get With The Program. It's our time and it's our turn.
I feel like once we address the needs of the students, we can ensure that they'll be successful in the program.
The main idea is to know the safety of the program. And
Black Lives Matter?
Yes, yes.
We're going to show you how much Black Lives Matter, because we have a solution to the problem.
This school will help change the mindset of our young Black men.
And that's what we're trying to do, bring pride back to our community.
Substance use, anger management, mental health.
So here at the Inner City Trade School, that's what we're trying to build. That's what we're trying to create, an environment for our people to thrive.
I'm so happy to see one of my Beings Homes family members today. I want to get back on the station, but I definitely want to run my ad for my business on Be Exposed Radio. They are attached to so many different businesses and great entities here in the city. If you have a business, you definitely want to put your business out there, commercial, shout out, anything, and sponsor one of the great shows that's on Be Exposed Radio.
Welcome back. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I did. You see us. That's all I really kept saying. I was like, okay, you see us. Go Be Exposed. So okay, we got a little bit more time before we get out of here and before my allergies really take over. Y'all can see my eyes getting lower. My nose is definitely, I'm ready to take it off and just sit it down for a second. Okay. So right before the break, we were getting back into the fact that earlier, I quoted, burdens that the adults don't need to carry on to the next generation. And truthfully, I feel like that's something else I would really like to massage through. So we might get into that. I won't necessarily say next week, but in some time. So I would like to get into what that actual quote means, but where I'm tying it into this week's, I was supposed to say lesson topic, of the fact that, the fire is still hot. And remember the different ways that we said that it can be taken, that at different levels. Either way, the fire is hot. And then, or just knowing that the fire is hot, don't touch it, right? And so when we know what makes it, hot, right? Between human interactions, right? So if it's family, if it's just different relationships, different dynamics, that if it does not work, if it's not working for you, if even one of the parties, no matter how many parties are involved. I ain't even, there's different analogies. What to say, obviously it's just two parties in dating, but y'all out here doing different types of things. So I don't want to assume, but either way, so if it's just one party that is unhappy in a particular relationship and dynamic, then it is not working. Now, it could be in that moment where you work and you address, those issues and work through that and apply the appropriate amount of blank, fill in the blank there. Or if it is just not meant to be at all, then you separate, right? And still it has to be addressed in order for it to be a healthy separation. I want you to walk away tonight knowing that every separation, every departure does not have to be, I don't want to use the word toxic, does not have to be a dramatic one. It does not have to be this over the top dramatic, I don't know, God, I'm thinking back in days where I like fought, like fighting, like, it was this big fight, physical fight. We put hands on each other and it does not have to be that. God have mercy. Like, I literally can't even fathom that now, which is crazy because at some point it was kind of normal. It does not have to be, this huge, nasty argument. And we stay away from, like, we shy from addressing issues because that's what most of us have known, unfortunately. That has been the norm. And it does not have to be. At some point, you have to break that. You have to. And so I want to believe that as millennials, it's funny that we get, like kicked on, right? Kicked and not kissed, right? Kicked more than we're kissed as millennials, but yet, it is the next generation that is left in our hands. And truth be told, next generation is left in some pretty good hands, some pretty capable hands, right? And it is because, again, the burdens of the adults don't need to carry on to the next generation. We are the generation that at least are addressing our issues. It may not be all of us, but we as a generation, right? We as a whole at least can give us that. And if you realize the way I speak, I'm very inclusive. So when I say we, where maybe something that does not necessarily pertain to me, like in a negative sense, where I might say, we don't talk as much, we don't communicate, but here I'm a communicator. But I know others that, fall in the same category as far as like demographics as I do that do not communicate, right? But I'll just say we, right? And so, but this is at least a positive thing where I can say, we as the millennials, as our generation, are the capable hands that the next generation, are left in. And that we have it, it's now just applying it, right? And so the point, of course, is to work through these, unaddressed issues, not to avoid them becoming burdens that then are, passed on, because burdens are what are passed on, spill over and carry over, and it just should not be. It doesn't mean to sweep them under the rug, though, right? Unaddressed doesn't mean to leave them unaddressed. It means to work through them and not just to deal with them, to handle them. Right? Applying the appropriate amount of pressure or care or love or forgiveness, okay? Or communication, the appropriate amount. Some people, overdo it. When we think of the scenario of why a lot of folks will say, why they're turned off, from Jesus, when they're turned off from church, right? It is usually, unfortunately, because they have come across either like actual church hurt or just, somebody's approach, their methodology of, appealing church and Jesus and the Bible, to them could have, been like wrong, like trying to shove it down their throat, or just, oh yeah, every time you have Jesus, like, let it flow, let it be, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. All right, I ain't gonna, everything's gonna work out, babe. I had to finish that. Woo, that's good. Thanks, I went. But yeah, like it, so you think of an example is like you take glass, right? For example, just because it's fragile doesn't mean it has to break. Let's be typically. Just because it's fragile doesn't mean it has to break. Just means that you have to work a little harder to protect it. So then in that instance, if something is fragile, meaning that you have become vulnerable, that you have been transparent, that you have recognize and acknowledge, the fact that there is an issue that needs to be addressed. You've addressed it. You're working through it at different stages and phases of addressing said issue. May be more, vulnerable, more fragile than the other stages and phases of it, right? And so you have to apply the appropriate amount of, protection, or again, care, love, whatever, tend to love and care, whatever it takes, whatever it needs. And I leave that open because that is for you to decide. It is not for you. And I have been in the place way too many times where it's like, tell me what it is. Like, if this is my scenario, tell me, do I need to apply love to it? Do I apply pressure to it? Did I walk away from it? Like, I had to learn. It took me a good while to let that go, but I had to learn that no one can tell you how to handle your stuff. Although I will be honest that I come from a place of trying to put it in such a way to where it's much more more easily received, right? Because I don't have any control over if you're receptive of it. I want you to be, but I know that I try to, make sure that my output is receivable. Are you receptive? Ooh, that might be a topic. Oh, have mercy. And I quoted this too. I was just jotting some notes down, baby, here and there. And then I'm gonna read y'all, I'm sharing y'all this series. And then we're right out of here. This should take us right out. So of course, it feels good to be loved, but even better to be loved in return. Y'all haven't heard that before. That ain't nothing new. Excuse me. Allergies, man, they are getting me. Woo, Jesus. Whew. Y'all pray for my sinuses and allergies tonight. Amen. But yeah, that's it. And so, of course, we always bring it to, self-reflection, self-love, self-care. And we're going to get into that today. I'm going to say this now, and this is going to be repeated in just a second, that self-love, self-care is not the same as self-discipline. How to love yourself, because again, remember, it feels good to be loved and feels even better to be loved in return. Are you loving yourself in return? It's a two-way street, even in your self-love. Like, you have to do something and receive it. Are you the person that, finally says, okay, so for example, like, getting your nails done is your self-care, right? That's on your self-care Sunday. Male, female, questionable, whatever you want, right? Just, okay, get my nails done. Cool. Whatever that means for you. I'm gonna get my nails done. But I gotta hurry up. They got to hurry up. I don't have time to sit here. You are not in a receptive place. You have given yourself something. So it's the same things if somebody says, I'm gonna treat you to this and that, but you're like, can you hurry up? Oh my gosh, I can't, I gotta do this. And you might be justified because you have so many things to do, or you only have a small window to get it done, but then you gotta work it out a little better than that, right? Sometimes that's where our unaddressed issues stem from, of us just not being in a receptive place. Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave it there. I ain't yelling. I got 2 minutes. I'm out of here. All right. So this is a series that I saw and shared and saved the screenshots that I know someone else posted it, but Kira J, or I am Kira J, I think it's from IG, that's from Twitter. This is her original post, and someone else I saw that reposted it, and it just fit right in. It really tied in from last week and ties us into this week. So I'm gonna just read straight through them and get on out of here. She says, and it's funny because I love 222 is what I keep seeing. So it was on 2/22/21 though. That's funny. Anywho, at 12/23, yeah. Moving on. It's the dates and the times and the numbers. We be thinking we need advice, and whole time we need discipline. You say you want to lose weight and you know exactly what it's going to take to lose weight, but you're not disciplined enough to work out 1 hour a day and change your diet. See, advice is for people who don't know what to do. But at this big age, we all know what we should be doing. The problem isn't found in the guidance, it's found in the commitment to what we say we want. You say you want to get over your ex and you know what it takes, what it's going to take to get over them, but you're not disciplined enough to stop going back and cut off all communication. Self-love is self-discipline, or I'm sorry, I said that backwards earlier. Forgive me. Stop playing with your personal goals. The cost of whatever you want to do is that sacrifice. Nobody coming to save you. Nothing is going to magically change for you. Get disciplined or stay stagnant. Y'all, we're going to definitely get into this next week. We be knowing exactly what it's going to take to get from where we are to where we want to be, but the lack of discipline will stop us from getting there. You say you want to save money and you know what it's going to take to save money, but you're not disciplined enough to cook at home and stop going out for a while. The life you want to live is found on the other side of your self-discipline. How serious you are about living that life is found inside your ability to practice your self-control. So with that being said, the fire is still hot. Of each level that it is, it's hot at every level, or it may be hot, don't touch it, or that is hot, you're on fire, keep going, you're cooking. Listen, That's my time. I'm up out of here, okay? I love y'all. Thanks, Drea. I'm up out of here. I want you to be the mix that you are. Work on that self-discipline, baby. Remember, the fire is still hot. Let me know next week what you took from that. The fire is still hot, and it can be taken a couple different ways. Where are you in the process? Peace.